Here at Track One, we have Natasa Rajevac. She's a solution advisor for SAP Cloud HR software solutions. Currently, Natasha is part of a regional team of experts for SAP Success Factors, where she is showing the importance and value of digital HR transformation. Natasha, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you.
So I'm starting, right? Okay. So hi, everyone. Welcome. And thank you very much for joining today's session. I hope you're having some coffee breaks in between. I know I definitely am. Before I start with my presentation, I will just stick a bit with this coffee theme. So to be honest, coffee is something that truly inspires me to get up every day in the morning. And before this situation with the pandemic was still, let's say, acceptable, here and there I went to different coffee shops because I really like to explore these different coffee flavors. But what I don't like that much is really to wait. So when I went to this coffee shop, which I've never been to before, I was waiting like half an hour to get my coffee. And in the end, the waiter really didn't pay attention to me. He brought me a cold cappuccino, which I don't like. So that was not something I asked for. And I was really unhappy. So this was my face. And I'm sure you had similar experiences, be it in a restaurant or a coffee shop or a hotel, any kind of, let's say, a place where you would get to different companies, right? So the question is, would you really recommend these places to your friends or your family? And I guess the answer here is probably no. And for me, my experience was not really good. And I think today we live in this customer centric society, right, where everything is spinning around the customers. And sometimes we lose out of the equation the employees, right? So the people who are actually providing services and products to customers. And we solely focus on customers, which is, I would say, not a best way to do things. So this is a quote from one of the most famous people in the business world, Richard Branson. And this is what he said. So he said that customers really do not come first, but employees do. And really, if you take a good care of your employees, then they will then take care of your customers. Right. So this is something that he implemented very successfully in his business, and something that really is true for many successful organizations. So today we are going to talk about human experience management, and primarily we will be focusing on employees and providing the best possible employee experience, which will really create then a change in the organization, and of course influence both the customer experience and the whole, let's say, business success in general. I'm already briefly introduced, but let me just quickly again repeat it for myself. My name is Natasa Rajevac, and I'm part of SAP Solution Advisors team. I'm in charge for Success Factor solution, which is, let's say, helping companies digitalize their HR processes. So when we talk about employees, your employees consciously choose to join your organization, right, on a daily basis. And as such, they are the primary consumers of your business culture, of your ethics, of the ways of working, right? So if they are lack passion, if they're not engaged, if they're not happy with their job, uh, those things can really influence each and every interactions they have with the customer. So a lot of organizations were trying to, let's say, explore a bit more this topic and see why really employee experience matters, and what are, let's say, the KPIs that employee experience could, let's say, improve. So Forbes have done some of the researches, many other companies, Gallup, Harvard, and what they found out is that, for example, focusing on employee experience can increase customer satisfaction, sorry, by 30%. Also, companies that invest in employee experience can have up to 4 times the average profit comparing to companies who do not focus on employee experience. Of course, there are a lot of other data that we can share, and I will share a bit later. But this is just for start to show you that really this employee experience is not a topic that could be and should be easily neglected. So this is the equation, which is, I think, quite simple to understand. But then again, a lot of companies are not seeing it or realizing this. So if you focus on employee experience, your customer experience will bloom as well. And the companies that really do put effort in the employee experience they provide really have amazing benefits and amazing results. Um, but still, it seems that, as I mentioned, this fact is utopia for many organizations. And thing that Deloitte, in this case, have done, they have done a research where they were trying to see if companies put employee experience as a priority. And it turned out that companies, yes, they do understand that it is important, but still only 9% of the companies are somehow addressing this issue and really putting and paying attention to the employee experience. So the true question is, if you do focus and if you are focusing on employee experience, really you need to listen to employees, because you cannot give them what they want if you don't listen to what they say. One of the companies that is really successful with this whole employee experience orientation and focus is Microsoft. So their current CEO, Satya Nadella, if I'm not mistaken, I hope I did pronounce it correctly. He came to Microsoft 5 or 6 years ago, and up at this point, right? So 5 years ago until now, Microsoft shares have tripled. So when they asked him, the CEO of Microsoft, what did you do? How did you accomplish this? He said that he actually converted Microsoft from being a product company to become a people company. So they implemented this culture of a continuous feedback, of learning from each other, a growth mindset. And he said that that is the primary reason why they are so successful and growing further as well. And now if we would look at the operational part. So operational data is something that is definitely very crucial for every business and something that is very much needed. So for example, operational data is financial data, KPIs that you are following, different parts of your financial system, supply chain, and other LOB, let's say, line of businesses that are part of your ecosystem. So for example, here I just put termination rate as one example. You know how many learning hours your people have, or how much they learn during the week. What is the offer acceptance rate? But what is sometimes very neglected is this experience part. And this experience part is really giving you the why. So for example, not only that you know how many people are leaving your organization, you can really know why they are leaving, right? So that gives a totally different story and different vibe to the whole business. You know, for example, that offer acceptance rate is low, but do you actually know why people are not accepting your offer for a job, right? So is something wrong with the recruiting? Is something wrong with the benefits that you're offering? You don't really know if you don't have this experience part. It's just a guessing game, I would say, without it. So what we are trying to do from our side as SAP is really to bring closer both operational and experience data part. So here, what you do is really what we do, and what we, let's say, encourage companies to do is really to turn these insights they do have around the company into true action. And the way to do it is really through this experience data part. So when we would look at the technology, and of course, I took SuccessFactors as an example. So the HR software is really, let's say, following the whole employee journey, right? So from the moment somebody becomes a candidate in the organization, they go through selection process, go through their training, development, have their performance review checked. They maybe change roles in the organization. So this operational data is definitely crucial and necessary for every part of the story. Let's say, because without it, you wouldn't be able to do any kind of reporting, you wouldn't be able to meet some legal requirements, or see actually how business is doing, right? But the experience part is very, very much also important, because it is helping you to really improve all of these processes, to improve not only employee experience, but also in the end, as I mentioned, customer experience and the whole business success. And when looking again at success factors, you can see that a lot of parts here are these operational data parts, right? So from the core HR, which is the basis of any technology for HR, where you have employees' records, where you have organizational management, following with different talent management processes like recruiting, onboarding, platform for learning, and also analytics, various analytics and planning tools. But what is, as I mentioned, the spice that is giving true meaning to all of these facts and operational data that we have is this X data, or feedback and sentiment that that you collect from employees. So when we talk with companies about the employee experience and the whole, let's say, mindset about it, sometimes they think that it's only technology, right? So you implement technology and it's all good. You solve the issue, but it's not really like that. So they sometimes, I would say oftentimes, forget that the thing is more serious than it looks like. So it really needs to be embedded into company competencies that people have in the company and in the overall company culture. And when we talk about the culture, primarily, we think about the culture, which is encouraging open feedback, this growth mindset, and really encouraging employees to give their honest feedback about the ways the company work and what could be improved. So without this culture part, really the whole digital transformation and focusing on employee experience doesn't make much sense. So now I will take a few minutes to bring you to the case, which we had very soon. So the Unica, especially particularly Unica Hungary, is focusing their culture, as I said, on customers. So they want to build really a customer-centric culture, but the way how they're doing it is through employees and focusing on employee engagement. So let's see how they manage to, and they are still in this process of transformation, their employee experience part. So I'm sure you all know and you are aware of Unica. They're one of the biggest insurance service providers here in our region, present in, I hope I'm not mistaken, 18 countries. They have 10 million customers and 19,000 employees. So I hope I get this data correct. And we started this transformation from their Hungarian, let's say, part. So the main pain points for Unica in Hungary were that we all know that insurance industry is heavily regulated. It has low growth. It's not really attractive for future employees, and maybe it's not really attractive for customers when you need to know and you're choosing something like insurances. Sometimes these processes are not really open and clear. And also the same thing goes for employees. Sometimes these operations can be a bit confusing. So what I wanted to manage and to do in Unica is really to have this end goal of providing the best possible customer experience for the insurance industry in Hungary. And the way they are doing it is via employee experience. So they are totally focusing on this whole customer part around employees first. So they know that they need to start internally in order to really get the business benefits they want. So as you can see here in this blue box, the whole transformation was really first started from changing the culture, their internal, let's say, processes, the mindset of employees, because they know that only engaged employees can really provide the best possible customer experience. So now they're empowering employees to really give the open feedback, and really in order to solve all these problems quickly and to simplify the whole process structure in the company. And this is a quote from Ivan, who is HR director in Unica Hungary. And he said that they're currently in this big change process, and they have this vision of becoming the best customer service company in Hungary, which is quite a bold goal and statement. And this goes through employee experience. So the requirements that they had was really a fast implementation. So that was the first thing, and we needed to fit in the budget they had for this particular problem they wanted to solve. And what they also wanted to see is the immediate use of the solution, right? So they wanted to have these easy dashboards and analytics for all the managers and employees in the company in order to really start the whole process, let's say, immediately. So what we offered and what the result was a record fast implementation of 2 weeks for Unica with help of our implementation partner Odessa. So now they can really easily understand the improvement areas in their company, what are the critical points they need to improve immediately in order to see benefits, and also some long-term points that they can slowly work on. Also, of course, because they are SuccessFactors customer as well, they will have the full benefit of the O and X, or I already mentioned, so the operational part and the experience part together, working as one. So on the other benefits that they have seen, so first I mentioned that the culture part is not something that you can leave out easily. So what they've done is that, of course, they started this process internally and really getting this message to employees that it is safe environment to tell what you think, to share what processes can be improved, what customers are seeing, and maybe you as an employee can see what customers are complaining about, right? So the first thing that happened is that they've seen that 80% of the people, of the employees, actually responded to the survey within 1 week. And previously, this response rate was really low. It was around 20%. So that was the first thing they saw, that employees really do believe in this system. And in this way, really, they can understand the improvement areas and focus on them. Also, with SAP Qualtrics employee experience, they were able to really measure employee experience frequently, because some companies do it once per year, but that maybe is not enough if you're really intending to change the whole process to really make some benefits for the company. Really, it is important to get these feedbacks quite frequently and not only once per year. So they're not happy that and they can really do this frequently and not wait for the processes and results to kind of analyze months. Really, with the solution, you get immediate results and immediate responses. Then, of course, they are collecting and sharing this feedback with the managers, and immediately then this is influencing all the decisions they are making. And what is really also interesting for Unica case is that now they're actually linking management bonuses with employee engagement. So that's something that not many companies do, meaning that, for example, if a team of this particular manager is not engaged and the survey results show that engagement is less than, let's say, some threshold, then he will not get his bonus. So this is, let's say, another level of getting this experience management very seriously. And the last part we see here is measuring of organizational changes. So now they can immediately, if they do something, they ask employees if that's okay, if it's helping them in their daily job, and if it's not, they can reverse it or change it again. Really, so it's an open feedback and a constant, let's say, conversation between the company and the employees. And this is another quote. It seems I do love quotes. Again, from Ivan, who is HR director at Unica. He said that SAP really helped him to give voice to employees, and that's really something that we are doing here, giving employees a voice and engaging them in this change, because it's not really a top-down a top-down decision. It's something that you need to change from within. So that was a short case around Unicam in Hungary. And now I will just list some of the benefits of experience management. I think we already went through some of these. So the first one would be reducing the employee turnover. And many studies have shown that, of course, employees who are happy with the company, they do stay longer. Of course, then increases employee productivity. If employees know that their voice is heard and they can influence something in the company, of course, their productivity will go up. Helps attracting best talents. So when I talked about this experience, for me personally as a consumer, is the same in the employees world, right? So when you want to get more information about the company, you're looking at what is the experience other employees are having in that same company, right? So if you are focusing on experience management internally, others will hear that as well, and it will help you attract more talents and better talents. In the end, what we are all trying to accomplish, of course, the whole organizations and employees are indeed working for some customers in mind, right? So idea is really to explore and engage customers, but before first engaging employees. And of course, it's always about money, right? So all this really does lead to bigger profits, and a lot of studies have shown that. And here I've just put some numbers. So this is a Gallup researches that Gallup did, and they got to conclusion that organizations who focus on experience management have reduction in employee attrition by 41%, which is, I would say, very, very important. We know how costly it is to lose good employees. And also we see this number of 18% higher revenue per employee. This is also a study done by Gallup. So I think with all this data and this short case study, we are seeing that companies are slowly starting to move towards employee experience and focusing on employee experience. And really, if you do look at the most successful companies in the world, you will see that all of them are actually focusing first on employee experience, and then that is, let's say, having this reaction towards the employees, towards the customers. So the end is the business growth and business success of the whole organization. So that would be it from my side. Thank you very much for your attention.